Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is June Liu. How you doing, June?
Doing good.
So today we are talking about the Camacho Imperial Stout Barrel Aged cigar. Is a Toro 6x50. Comes out of the Diadema Cigars de Honduras factory in Honduras. The wrapper is Mexican San Andres Maduro. The binder is Honduran Corojo Maduro. The filler is barrel aged Honduran Corojo Maduro, Brazilian Maduro, and Dominican Maduro. Um, Lender's undisclosed. Price point is $9.99. Cigar was released in June of 2017. And the big claim to fame for this cigar is that it was uh, barrel aged in Oscar Blues 1050 barrels. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right, there you go. So, June, what was your pre-light experience like with this cigar?
Um, and I think they want us to say 1050 because it's
So I said 10.
FIDY, not like 50.
Did I not say 1050?
Oh, nothing. You might have put a little slang to it, but maybe it's not enough of a call
Okay, and
slang.
it was kind of exclusive for for Cigar Dojo. I don't miss that part as well.
Yes, absolutely. So, pre-light was really good. I rated it very good, which is one notch below our perfect score. In terms of the wrapper and the look, it had this like almost like a monochrome kind of a look to it. I mean, within the cigar itself is almost jet black wrapper shade, and then the band being black and kind of silver. I like that kind of a look in general. So things well pressed, seems tight. Cigar's pretty packed full of tobacco. Firm even give throughout. Smelling the wrapper, I got cedar and a dark chocolate coming through. Smelling the foot, dry wood, white pepper, baking spices, cold draw, cedar, raisins, and Asian spices. So really good pre-draw.
Yeah, I agree with you. Aromas I got from the wrapper kind of damp barnyard, gave a little bit of a creamy hay note, and pre-light draw had some sweetness, kind of with some damp hay and a little slightly spicy tingle that I was getting on my lips. So it kind of takes you your flavor experience.
Sure. First third, mouth draw notes of cedar, baking spices, minerals, and I got this like effervescence to it that kind of stayed within the whole cigar with me. In a slight dry cocoa, retrohaling, deeper notes of that dry cocoa, baking spices, cedar, finish medium in length with lingering cedar and dry earthiness, strength and body, medium. On the second third, the profile started to pick up a slight charred kind of a wood note to it. Other than that, I thought the profile became a bit darker, shifting towards from more of that dry cocoa note that I was having to more of a dark chocolatey note. Other notes of the baking spices, mineral effervescence still would remain. It's just that it was kind of like overshadowed by a slight char that's uh, looming within the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
On the last third, that chard note that I was tasting started going away, and then it became more like a cedar-like wood again. So in addition to that, dark chocolate becomes semi-sweet, and it gave it like a creamer version, which I really dug. The baking spices, mineral effervescence, still full effect. Profile finishes that medium in terms of body and strength. So overall, maybe not so much imperial stout note, just like good Maduro notes.
Right. Yeah, for me, the cigar started with dark wood and underlying baking spice. A little further in, baking spice increased while that dark wood kind of still up front, and a little bit of creaminess was present in the background. In chin, dark wood, spice, cream created a really nice, flavor combination. Retrohale was carrying that same dark wood along with a little bit of cream. Inch and a quarter, I began to get some malty notes for kind of right at the beginning of the draws. Really short-lived, just an instant flavor note, and then it was gone. As the third came to a close, baking spice kind of faded far back, and the dark wood and the light cream continued on. Strength in first third was slightly above medium. Getting the second third, the dark wood and the cream continues. A little bit of those quick hits of maltiness were still there. Quarter inch in, I was getting a little cocoa powder mixing with the dark wood and the cream. And then at 3/4 of an inch in, the profile was coming a little bit drying as the cream was fading back a bit. Dark woods up front, cream and cocoa just kind of in the background. Retrohale was now more of a musty wood note. And then as the third was coming to a close, the profile was still drying as the cream had completely left. Dark wood was up front, still a little bit of that cocoa in the background. The retro had gained a little bit of the cocoa note as well to go along with the dark wood. And the strength had moved up to medium full for me. Getting the final third, still a dry profile, dark wood, a little bit of cocoa, slight addition of some black pepper again. Quarter inch in, a little bit of cream rejoined the profile, which kind of knocked that dryness out, which is what was welcome. At an inch in, dark wood remained up front. Cocoa had left the profile, and the cream remained in the background. And that's kind of how the cigar finished out. Strength kind of remained at that medium full level. So take us through your construction on this cigar.
I rated both the burn and draw to be absolutely flawless and perfect. So, burn was cool, slow, razor sharp burn line, tight ashes. Draw, it was that perfect balance between airflow and resistance. So, no complaints.
Yeah, for me, the draw was slightly wavy the entire way. I always kept up with itself. It did go out on me in the final third, required a relight, and didn't really seem to want to stay lit after that. Ash held on an inch and a half increments. In regards to the draw, I thought it was very good. Slightly tighter than I prefer, but I don't think it caused any issues with the smoking experience. So overall, what were your thoughts on this one?
Um, I thought that was a tasty profile. It was centered around like darker flavors of like chocolate and minerals. That char note that came through within the second third, I felt like it threw off the balance, and it didn't really mix in with the other notes. But but it was a good tasting cigar. And I've said this about Camacho's barrel aged series in general. I still think even after smoking this one and smoking through the rum barrel aged one and the American one, that I mean we didn't review it, but I've smoked it before. I just don't think that infusion comes through enough. If you're gonna especially tell me that this is barrel aged from like 1050 imperial stouts, I know very well what that beer tastes like. It was interesting because I kind of went about this cigar in the sense that like the day before I had a can of just the 1050 stout.
Right.
I also had a can of the barrel age 1050. And I mean, I know that we're not comparing apples to apples, right? Because this is a cigar, right? It's an infusion. It's not like a total, mixing of the barrel and all that, right? With liquid contact. But it doesn't really pull through with a lot of the notes that I was tasting from those beers. I mean, like, those beers are like big vanilla, big oak characteristics, big chocolate malt, whereas this cigar just kind of tasted like a good Maduro, right? Chocolatey, earthy. It kind of came through in the uniqueness in the sense of like perhaps the effervescence I was tasting. But if you're expecting it to give you that big imperial stout kind of note of the beer, this
Mhm.
is it. But if you want just a good tasting cigar, yeah, smoke it. It's good.
Yeah, I agree with the subtlety of the barrel aging, and that's on all three of the cigars in the line, kind of there. It's not enough for what I was looking for. I mean, other than that maltiness that I kind of got, other flavors that I got that kind of go along with the stouts, some of the creaminess and the cocoa. But I also just get that flavor from tobacco sometimes anyway. So I can't say if that's, goes along with barrel aging or is just with the tobacco. I mean, Mexican San Andres Maduro, you're going to get cocoa from it, right? So I can't really say. Profiles on the darker side. Strength was a little up there, medium full for me in the second, third, and final third. So, it's not a beginner cigar. So I'd say, if you're a fan of the darker cigars, fuller strength, definitely if you're a fan of the stouts, any of the Oscar Blue stuff, it's definitely worth checking out. The flavor's not bad on this cigar. It's a good cigar. I just think that when you're trying to um, use a selling point as that it's a barrel aging, I think you just need more of it to present on the cigar. So those are my thoughts on that. In regards to the score, I gave it a 6.47. Jiunn, you gave it a 6.82. How do you think that matches up with your experience?
Pretty well. I mean, I think the perfection of draw and burn helped it quite a bit. But if you're talking about, overall, did I enjoy the taste of it? I said I enjoyed it for the 2/3 of it, within the second third being average because of that char note coming through. So,
Yeah, I mean, I thought the flavor profile was good through the first two thirds. Final third, maybe with I had some burn issues in that final third, so I think that's kind of knocked it down there. But overall, I thought it was good. I mean, it's a flavorful cigar. It's just it doesn't wow me in flavors, and it just didn't have enough of that barrel aging for what I was looking for, I guess. So, any other final thoughts from you?
Maybe Eric Sensei, you could dip these in the actual beer and then see how that turns out.
There you go. Version 2.0.
Yeah.
All right, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Be sure to follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. And you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.